In this video, we will continue to model our base model in Blender. So we are still in a basic situation. We are creating the draft of what our model will be, or what is also called a blockout. So we're using different blocks to create more complex assembly of pieces. And in the previous video, we saw how we can start with the simple spheres and connection between these spheres using a technique that is similar to the Z-spheres in ZBrush and also the mannequin. So by creating the spheres, first in the front view and placing them in strategic positions and then linking them together with additional spheres and then moving them using the side view, we started to have some really basic shape that we can work on. Then we united these different pieces into one, and we also created additional pieces using spheres or also polygonal modeling. So essentially cubes, then we smooth out with the subdivisions modifier, and then we assemble together a more complex character. And then finally we merged everything together using the Remesh feature, which is kind of a Boolean union of overall all the little pieces here. So now that everything is joined together, and you can see here I've organized everything into collections so I can be quicker. And let's see also the starting point. So this was the starting point here, the spheres, and then we move them again into side. And let's also check something in the layout here. Okay. And I want to randomize the color so we can see that here we have all different colors because these are single spheres separated. This one here have been linked together but not yet joined together. So these are little pieces. And this one here is just one single piece and everything is joined together. So everything is one single mesh. But if we go in the wireframe mode, we can see that they are not actually merged. These are still separated. They just overlap. So this is another way you can create blockout. So you have like different ways you can create blockouts. And this one here is the final result so far, but is still in a draft mode. So if I go again in the wireframe, we can see that everything is merged. So probably you don't need so many polygons at the moment, because when you're working with a draft, this is really important. When you're working with a draft model, you don't need so many polygons. Instead, it's better to have few polygons. So if I go here, this is our first remesh. So if I see this is my model that I'm selecting right now. Let's go here. And you can see also some colors have been merged together because these are also called face sets. I can say face sets from visible. You can see it's going to give me one single face set. And also here I can do random. So I can have a whatever color. And I can, well, change also if I want other version. So I can see the polygons right now because we are not using the smooth. So we can do that real quick actually with Dyntopo. So in this video, we're going to see this one here, which is dynamic topology or Dyntopo or Dyntopo. And if we click on smooth shading, we can already see that everything is nice and smooth out. Even if I deactivate Dyntopo, you can see everything is still showing nice and smooth. So if I apply it again, you can see this is managing now the visibility of the polygons. So right now we don't really need smooth shading. Instead, we want to check the topology and especially the number of polygons. So you can see that this number of polygons is a really high number. So it's a high poly. And we can see now the seams that have been created in the moment that we merge everything together. And we saw also that if we hold Shift or the smooth brush, we can smooth out all these parts little by little. So smoothing will take off some details, but will also like place them back together. It will relax the polygons. So it's a really important one in terms of creating drafts. So you can see here that you're gonna have like something really organic and smooth. There you go. So we can continue here with this to smooth out everything, and will look better and better. So we just need to spend some time here. Now, what I want to tell you is that don't start with something, again, so complex. You need to go down some level of subdivision in order to work more comfortably and define the overall shape again. We are not yet into so many details. I want to tell you this because it's better if you do this step by step. If you jump ahead and start to create details, then it will be for nothing, because in the time you will remesh or adjust the overall mesh, you will lose everything. So for example, here, if I do some really small detailing, well, not so small, but smaller than this, okay, with these polygons that I have. Now, in the moment that I remesh, because I still want to work on the overall, for example, here in the shoulder, in the back part. So the moment I remesh, let's do here, for example, voxel size 1, remesh, you can see I've lost all the details. But this is the comfortable way that I can work with the rest of my character, using first the draw, which you can recall with the X key on your keyboard. And usually at the beginning, you definitely use grab or G. So you can start to push and pull the polygons around. And this is really handy because it's really difficult to work with many polygons instead of working with few. And let's also start to see some shortcut keys. So if you press F, you can define the size. So the bigger is the size, especially in the grab feature, the more mass you will take from the character, and you can define bigger parts. So you can see here I'm moving around, but I'm also affecting other parts of the model. If I hold F and make it smaller just by moving my mouse, I can affect smaller parts. The other really important key is Shift F. So this is gonna change the strength. Sometimes you want a low strength because you wanna go really nice and smooth and take your time. Sometimes you want it stronger, so Shift F, increase it. You have here 1, which is the maximum, so this is gonna be like really strong effect. Now, once you get the overall shape, you can then remesh to a lower voxel size, for example, 0.1, and this is gonna go like into more detail. And you can smooth if you have this blocky character. So what I'm trying to tell you is that don't go already in a really high poly, start with low poly. Exactly how we did with polygonal modeling. So we started with a blocky, well, we actually started with a cube, and then we extruded all the parts in a really blocky way, and then we added the subdivisions modifier, and we got this really nice and smooth model. So we're gonna see something similar in this video using Dyntopo, but also using Remesh, because you always need to use a combination of the two. So starting with a single sphere, we're gonna develop an entire character. So we're not gonna use little pieces like this and then assemble it together and then remesh everything. We're gonna start again with a single object, which is gonna be a sphere. A sphere is fine. And then from that, we're gonna extrude everything we need, kind of working with clay instead of like all those little pieces. So this is our initial sphere. And again, we're gonna start from the front view and develop this. So instead of adding other spheres, we're just gonna use this one here. And I'm gonna activate the Dyntopo. So I am in the sculpting mode right now, but I am in the object mode right here. So I'm just gonna switch to sculpt mode. This is where you get Dyntopo, Remesh, and all the rest. So I'm gonna activate Dyntopo and say okay. And once I do that, also here I have something concerning the voxel or the number of polygons, but we're gonna focus on that later. Also, I want to activate symmetry, so X on, and start to move these around. Now, once I start to move things around,